95% of game developers never make any real money from their games. That's just the truth. But the other 5%, the ones who crack the code, their lives change forever. And I know because I'm one of them. I went from struggling with projects that never made a dollar to finally figuring out how to turn my passion for making games into a full-time gig. Not just surviving, but thriving. This journey has given me ultimate freedom. I've traveled to more countries than I can even count. I've been able to help my family. I've met incredible people around the world. And every time I see that little spike in downloads or a message from someone saying that they love what I built, it really hits me. This is real. This is what's possible when you stop treating game dev like a hobby and start approaching it like a business. In this video, I'm going to lay it out all straight. I'm going to give you the easy to follow blueprint that will take you from the 95% into the 5%. I know it works because it's exactly what I myself and others have used to get real results. If you're struggling to make any money in your game dev journey, then sit tight because this is for you. So let's dive right in, shall we? The first thing you need to understand, and I can't stress this enough, is who you're creating your game for. Most developers just throw something out there and hope it appeals to everyone. I did that for years and every single one of those games failed. Everything changed when I realized that I wasn't making games for everyone. I was making them for one specific person. Let's call him Bob. Bob's 35, he's a lawyer. He's got a family and he loves casual match 3 puzzle games. He plays them on his phone after work to unwind and escape the stress of his day. That's it. That's your guy. Once you know that, you know everything. What art style he'll enjoy, what music relaxes him, what kind of themes make him feel good. Maybe it's family, maybe it's travel, maybe it's simple rewards and progress bars that give him that small win after a long day. The more specific you get, the more everything starts to click. For me, the moment I understood exactly who I was building for, everything started to shift. My downloads went up, my retention improved, and for the first time ever, the dollars started flowing. Once you know your audience, the next step is simple. Look at what's already working for them. I used to think I had to come up with some brand new, never been done before game idea. That's just ego talking. The truth is, success leaves clues. You need to study the top games your players already love. Not only play them, but master them. You want to play them not only from a developer's perspective, looking at the mechanics, monetization strategies, and progression systems, but also from a player's perspective. Looking at what keeps you coming back into the game, what makes you want to spend money or watch a rewarded ad, or how does that game make you feel? There is an age-old saying, good artists borrow, while great artists steal. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and make a watered down clone of an existing successful game. You're not copying them, you're learning from them. You're taking proven success and adding your own twist, your own personality, your own style. Think about it. The most successful games in the world are rarely brand new ideas. They're refinements of what already works. If you look at some of the top grossing games like Royal Match, it is not a new concept, but rather Candy Crush with a new story and theme. When I stopped trying to reinvent the wheel and started building on top of what was already working, that's when everything changed. I finally started creating games people actually wanted to play, not games I thought they wanted. And that leads to the next part, building your first version, your MVP. This is where a lot of people mess up. They try to build the next AAA masterpiece right out of the gate. They spend years on development and mortgage the house to finance it. I'm telling you, don't do that. You don't need some massive budget or 100-person team to make money. Some of my most profitable games that have literally made me 7 figures, are ridiculously simple. A word search game, a bubble shooter, nothing fancy, just clean, fun, and addictive. That's why these principles I'm sharing with you today are so powerful, and why I believe anyone can achieve the same results. Start small, build something simple, launch it, get feedback, improve it, and repeat. Speed is everything. My best performing games literally started as $20 templates I bought on the Unity Asset Store. Once I saw players were enjoying them, then I invested more time, better art, better UX, all that good stuff. If you're like me and you cannot code or feel your skills are just not up to par yet, then this next step is even more crucial. You need to vet developers who will be able to deliver. The best advice I can give you that will save you time and money finding freelance developers is to give them small tasks to test their skills in the beginning. Once you find someone competent, look after them and treat them like family, as ultimately that is what they'll become, because they're going to be crucial to your success. Now, let's talk about the one thing that separates games that die in silence from games that explode with play, and that is visibility. So now you've built your MVP, players should start flooding in, right? Well, not exactly. Without visibility, all you really have is some pretty lines of code and not a real product. In my experience working with other devs, this is probably the biggest hurdle they face. That is getting traffic to their game. Without the players, there is no revenue. I was fortunate enough to have a background in SEO before I started making games. SEO is basically the art of ranking websites on Google. I quickly found that many of the principles apply to ASO, which is basically ranking apps on the App Store. I wasn't lying when I said I've gotten millions of installs from my games purely through ASO. It's all about optimizing your title, your keywords, your visuals, all the things that make the App Store algorithm fall in love with your game. I've learned quite a bit over the years, mostly through trial and error. I won't go too deep into the technical side, that deserves its own full video. But if you take anything from this, it's that ASO is non-negotiable. You can learn it yourself online, that's how I did it. If that feels like it's too much for you, then you'll need to have someone on your team who understands this, or outsource it, because if you do not have a giant budget like some of these other big studios, then this is probably your only choice. If you'd like me and my team to do your ASO for you, reach out on the link in the description. I only work with a limited amount of people due to the amount of time it takes, as ASO is a very tedious process and requires a custom approach to each project. But no matter what, make sure someone's doing it, because without visibility, your game is invisible. And invisible games don't make money. Finally, this is the part that most people overlook. You've got to stay consistent and set your expectations as realistically as possible. Goal setting is so important. If game dev success is a map, then goals are basically the coordinates you type into the GPS to get you closer to that success. Too many times people fly blind without setting realistic, obtainable goals. Or worse, they set crazy high goals, and when they fall short, they simply give up. When I first started, I literally had the clear goal of having my first game make $5 a day. It may seem small or insignificant, but it was a stepping stone, a proof of concept that I could in fact get this to work. If my game could earn $5, then it could make $10. And that became my next goal. Then $20, then $50, and so on. Before you realize it, you are in a position to quit your day job. I've seen so many devs quit right before their breakthrough. You'll have bad launches, you'll get 1-star reviews, you'll hit bugs that make you want to throw your laptop out the window. Believe me, I've been there. But if you keep pushing, if you keep learning, if you keep releasing, one day it will all click. One day you wake up, check your analytics, and realize your game is making money while you sleep. And that's when it hits you, that freedom is real. For me personally, it's meant being able to travel the world, spend time with my loved ones, and help my family in ways I never could before. It's not just about the money, it's about the freedom it gives you. It's the ability to wake up and choose how you want to spend your day. And that's exactly what I want for you. If you stay consistent, stay focused, and follow this blueprint, you'll separate yourself from the 95% who give up too early. You'll join the 5% who actually make it, and when you do, it'll change your life forever. If you found this video helpful, show some love for the algorithm, drop a like, leave a comment, and tell me what's holding you back from turning game dev into your full-time job. I'll see you in the next one. Stay focused, stay consistent, and as always, peace out.